Welcome to Heritage Connections, where conversations turn into meaningful connections. I'm Caroline Torres, and today's guest is going to be talking about leadership and community. How does it mean to show up in a meaningful way for your community? Today, we're joined by the Honorable Constable Darlene Martinez, a longtime public servant and community advocate who has dedicated years in supporting and protecting the people around her. Welcome, Darlene, to Heritage Connections.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
So now I'm going to ask you a question. We're going to start with the punch.
Okay.
What is the biggest misconception people have about constable or public servant?
Well, I think the biggest misconceptions people have is, number one, most people don't know what constables do. And that's why there's a misconception. Constables, actually, our title is really a peace officer. So I think that in itself, the fact that we are peace officers is a big deal. You know that constables and actually justice of the peace are the last of the elected officials in Arizona. As a matter of fact, Wyatt and his brother Virgil Earp were some of the first constables in Arizona 100 years ago. And I think the biggest misconceptions is that people think that we are the long arm of the court, where we are not. We are community advocates. We actually go out and don't just serve things like evictions, which is what people think that's all we do. We actually go out and serve the justice court. We have to serve things like orders of protection, injunctions against harassments, summonses to court. If you get a ticket or a DUI or something, you have to appear in court. We're going to serve you that summons so you can make sure you get into court so you don't get a warrant. We serve things like so people
subpoenas. Don't wonder, why did I get arrested? I never find out that I had that going on.
That's right. So they're happy to see me when they get a summons because they want to make sure they show up to court on time. And that's a huge deal because you don't want a warrant on your I
like how you put that you guys are friends of the community because you're there to let us know, hey, show up so you avoid an uncomfortable situation. I love it.
Exactly.
Because I did not even know that you guys, everything that you did.
Right. People all think we just do evictions, which it entail is a large part of our position, but it's not the only thing we do. We do things like I said, injunctions against harassments and orders of protection. That's a huge part of what we do. As a matter of fact, during COVID, that was even a larger part of what we did because we stopped doing a lot of evictions. And, when everybody being home all the time, orders of protection went up. So we served a lot of those. But the good thing about that is that it protected people. That was the big thing. It took the place and protected people. And I take that very seriously, protecting people. For me, that's a huge part of my position. And I like to treat everyone with dignity and respect on the other side of that door.
We did a little bit of research about you and about honoring your parents' legacy. We learned that you are an MS Good Ranch women mechanic and also a pastry chef. Do you still practice this? I mean, I did. Actually, I was surprised.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting you say that because every Christmas, my great-grandmother and my mother both were amazing bakers. And so I wanted to always take that further, so I became a pastry chef. And every Christmas, I bake cinnamon rolls and rum cakes for my community. And
don't tell me you show up with like cinnamon rolls when you're doing
well, you see my post during Christmas is I do. And as a matter of fact, Terry Goddard and the mayor come to my house and buy the items, and all the money that I raise actually goes to charity. It's called Baking for Charity. Is my LLC, and all that money goes to families who don't have money for Christmas. I buy gift cards, and then I find families in need in my district who just don't have enough money for Christmas. And that started one day when I went to do an eviction, and I saw the family next door. they didn't. Little boy came out and he was so sad. And I asked him what was wrong, and he said that they weren't going to have a tree this year, and they weren't going to have gifts because they barely had enough for rent. And I said, "Oh my goodness, I couldn't see that happen." So I went and bought some gifts, and I went to the Munozes for their Christmas tree, and I went and got a tree, and I gave them some gifts, and I thought, well, I could do something for this. I can bake, and I can help them raise money to do this. So I started doing that. The next year, started raising more and more. This last year, I raised about $2,000. One year, I raised $3,500. So it's changes, but. So that's my mother's legacy of helping me learn how to bake. And it's her recipe that I've enhanced for rum cakes.
Oh.
So the rum cakes, everybody goes crazy for the rum cakes.
So now we know what we're going to have here, Heritage Headquarters for the holidays. Anyone that is looking to contribute to that, we're going to be buying those rum cakes from you. So for everyone that is hosting a holiday party here at Heritage Headquarters, that's the item of the month. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Thank you.
On the label, it says no eating and driving, though. So just so people know.
No, but thank you. Thank you for sharing that, because you see, there's so much people don't know about you or even about anybody out there. And so this is why for us, it's important to start connecting people in a meaningful way to the things that inspires them to continue to do the work that they do. Which that brings me to the next question. Okay. What made you get into public service?
Well, I've been doing political things for many years. I mean, I started when I was like 18 volunteering for campaigns. Harvey Milk was one of my original campaigns that I got into. But, I believe that if you want to help be a part of the world, you have to actually get into the world and you have to help others. And the only way to help others is to be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. And in order to do that, you have to actually get out there and help. So I started volunteering on campaigns. I started being a part of campaigns. I started being a part of nonprofits and helping them raise funds. And I worked with the United Negro Foundation. I worked with the Boys and Girls Club. I worked the Tiger Mountain Foundation. And I helped them with a variety of different things. But I realized one thing: no matter what you do in the community, as long as you're a part of the community and making a difference, then it makes your community stronger and better. And that's why I decided, I was asked to run, which is the big thing. I always wanted to be behind the scenes, and I was comfortable behind the scenes. But then I was asked to run. And I said, well, if it's going to make a bigger difference in my community for me to be on the other side, then I'll do it. And that's the reason why over 10 years ago, I got in the race, and I won by a landslide because I got out there and I knocked on over 10,000 doors and made a difference. And I beat the incumbent, and I beat another man, and I got on the ballot and just won by a landslide.
Now I know why you're very in love, because I know everywhere I go, everybody knows Darlene. Everybody likes Darlene and say amazing things about you. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted people to start connecting with you, because of not only all the work that you have done, but to me, you represent a true leader. But now I'm going to ask you, what does a true leader means to you?
Well, I think a true leader to me means being a servant leader, ultimately. It's being a servant leader is somebody who not only leads by example, but also goes out and makes a difference to others. I truly believe in the golden rule: do unto others as you do unto yourself, and to help them. And I think that makes a difference. So that's why I try to treat everybody with dignity and respect, and to make every situation a difference. I'm one of the few constables that actually has gone out and created a resource list. So I've attended housing meetings, I've attended veterans meetings, domestic violence meetings, senior meetings, just so that I can figure out how I can resolve situations and create solutions. So if I'm doing an eviction and someone says, I have no place to go, I hand them this 20-page list that I've created. I've added it and added it and added it to the point now it's 20 pages. If they say they have no place to go, there's several pages for free shelters. If they're having a domestic violence situation, there's a resource where they can go and get protected. If they're a veteran, I don't ever want a veteran to be on the streets. I'll drive them to a place where I know they'll get a bed. I'll make a phone call and say, hey, I have a veteran. I need a place for them to go. I'll even drive them there. If it's a senior and they're having issues, I had a lady, I'll give you an example. I have a lady who was 79 years old. She was half blind and she had no place to go. She was going to get in her car and sleep overnight.
You're making me cry. I don't know why. I'm getting emotional.
And I did not want to see her sleeping overnight. It was going to rain. And I called a couple of shelter places and one couldn't do it. The other one could do it. And I was on the phone for like 2 hours, finally found a place. They came down, they helped her pack her things, and they took her to a place that was a special senior center, which she's still there and she's got a place still. It makes a difference when you care and not just another small situation where they're not going to do anything. They're just going to move them from one place to another. You're going to actually care and put them to some place that's going to be meaningful to them. And so she got help. She just couldn't afford her rent anymore. I'd given her 3 days as it was because she kept saying she was going to pay, but she really couldn't afford it. I felt bad for her.
So now that you have shared, and again, I got emotional because I could imagine not only all the work that you're putting out there in the community, but also the impact that you're creating in the community when and where it matters. But I know that there's a lot of young listeners and people that are also advocates of building community and creating opportunities of leadership and advocacy. What message do you have to the young women or men out there who want to step into leadership and public service?
Well, I say to them, start early, start early, get out there. My first office was Commissioner of Social Events in high school. As my first elected position. And I got out there and started volunteering. Volunteer, get involved. Now there's the Young Democrats, there's all these groups where young people can get involved and be a part of not only campaigns, but they can be involved in nonprofits, or if there's events. I know you have events at Heritage, and sometimes you need volunteers. You don't have to be paid to do something. You can just volunteer your time. Go learn something.
Connect with people.
Exactly. And it's not about money. It's about experience. When you learn something and you get the experience of what you're doing, that's worth not only money, money isn't always the key to gaining something. It's the experience that you learn to do something. That's more valuable than money than I can ever tell you.
Oh my gosh. I mean, thank you for sharing that, because I know it's hard out there, especially when we're doing community work, right? And
yes.
To make a difference, it doesn't take one person. It takes a whole group of people to make it happen. And I'm glad that you mentioned the whole volunteering and building meaningful and impactful opportunities to connect. Now,
Hillary Clinton said it best. It takes a village. It takes, and now I think it takes more than a village. It takes a community of people that want to be involved and want to make a difference.
So now, what do you think people have lost trust in leadership in public system?
Why do you think that they have lost?
Yeah, the trust, or
That's interesting. I just had a show about that the other day. It was called I Remember When People Used to All Get Along. And I think that's because people used to want to work together, and there's so much mistrust now. And it's made it hard for people to get along and to let go of their egos. I think people need to let go of their egos and start trusting each other more, to say, you know what, I can work with that. I can let go of some of the things I believe in and say, you know what, let's try it your way. Let's see if that works. Let's see if we can make a difference. Because what I do is about a bridge. Let's start having those bridges. I think we've blown up some bridges, and we're using boards now to go across. We need to start building our bridges again And that trust is part of that bridge. It's like crossing one of those bridges where it has they're wobbly. Well, we need to start holding on and just saying, I'm not going to hold on anymore. I'm just going to walk across that bridge, and I'm going to trust you that what you're saying is real and what you're saying is true. And I'm going to believe you, and I'm going to make an effort. Let's just make an effort. Let's trust.
Do you think that that's like one way that we can make our community stronger? I mean, would you, because that's what I'm understanding. It's about like building bridges instead of like blowing them up. Because now that's what it seems and it feels like it's happening nowadays. What will be one thing that if we were to implement today, you think it will make our community stronger? Aside from the bridges, because I love that analogy.
So what can make our community stronger?
Yeah, like one thing that you will say that will make our community stronger right now, especially in today's world.
Well, the other part of it is money. I mean, money is strong as far as tying people together. I think it's if that's the biggest distraction, I think, for people, it is the money. But again, I think if people come together and start being willing to let down their guard and just work together rather than just rely on the money or rely on the ties that's all that is, and just believe in each other and try to help each other. I think that's it's called laying on the hands, Hey, I trust you. Do you trust me? Let's just try that. A lot of people just don't, it's like that's gone already. I remember that.
I love how you said that energy and donating their time, it makes a good impact. And I know money is also important. Now, there's going to be those that might not have the time or the energy, so they could come in and donate money to make it happen.
Right.
But those that have the time and the energy, especially our next generation, should be getting involved. I love, love, love that in about building bridges.
And it's not just the young people having their energy and their ability. So many people now have so many talents. There's so much talent out there. God, between technology and their ability to understand and the social media and to do technology with computers and all of that. Come with your talents. Come and do what you can with your talent. I'd take that any day.
Awesome. You are amazing, by the way. Let me tell you, you're amazing. But now we're going to shift gears.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you some questions that are caliente. And this is fast. This is fast. I'm going to ask you, don't overthink the answers. Just whatever comes to mind, okay?
All right.
So the first question is coffee before work or chaos mode?
Say that again?
Coffee before work or chaos?
Coffee.
Oh, great. One quality.
That's no-brainer.
One quality every leader should have.
Patience.
Toughest part of public service.
Or strength. Sorry. Say the last one again.
Toughest part of public service.
Public service. Toughest part of public service?
Whatever comes to mind.
Toughest part of public service. Misconception of others.
Good. A women leader you admire.
A woman leader I admire. God, there's so many. Gabby Gifford.
Awesome. One word you want people to remember about your legacy.
My legacy?
Your legacy.
My kindness.
Awesome. And this is what Heritage Connections is all about. It's about bringing people together, building meaningful relationships by getting to know who are the leaders out there that are not only creating impact, but also are leading with their heart. And that's why I'm so proud and so happy and blessed that you accepted to come and share a little bit about you with our community. And again, have them connect with you in a meaningful and powerful way.
Well, thank you so much for your
We're going to be sharing your social media links. So if anybody wants to connect with Darlene or Honorable Darlene Martinez, Constable Darlene Martinez, please look at the information below, follow her on social media, and yes, support.
Vote for me. I'm running one more time.
Yes.
One more time.
Yes. So she's also going to be in the ballot. So what area or what parts of town are you going to be running?
I'm in the downtown area, so it goes. My boundaries are north is 19th Avenue. Thomas, and south is down to Broadway. All the way east is Priest, so almost to Tempe, and then west is all the way to 19th Avenue. So it's a huge area, all downtown Phoenix.
Now you know. So if you're in that area and you see her name in the ballot, you now know who is leading with the heart and who's making an impact in the community. Thank you, Darlene. And if you like this content, don't forget to like it, share it, and follow it. I'll see you in our next episode of Heritage Connections.